Welcome to the Time Out with Just Sports Podcast with your man, your boy, your host, Jeffrey L. Mangum Jr. Hey, I'm coming to you with this NBA storyline of the offseason/free agency. That's right. NBA free agency kicks off this Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Hey, I can't wait to hear these Woj bums, the Mark Steinline, my man Shams, and just all the analysts breaking down all the storylines in NBA free agency that's about to come and hit us with a boom. Hey, first of all, I want to start out with a few storylines of my own and just get you kicked off right now of some of the storylines you'll be hearing in the days to come when NBA free agency frenzy kicks off on this Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. First off, let's talk about one of the storylines that's been talked about for many years and really has been talked about this offseason thus far. And that's the Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert pairing. Hey, we know these guys have played together for a long time. They maxed out at the second round, and it's probably about time for them to part ways with each other. Hey, their coach Quinn Snyder has already stepped down from the team. He's looking to either coach elsewhere or take some time off. So my question is, can a new coach come in and succeed, or will they need to split up this duo of Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell? Hey, you tell me what you think. You tell me if they need to split up or get a new coach an opportunity to see what he can do with Rudy Gobert and the Frenchman Rudy Gobert or Donovan Mitchell as a parent. Hey, if they do break up, who should go? If you break up this duo of Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, who would you trade first? There's been rumblings that the Chicago Bulls are interested, the Toronto Raptors. At one point, the Dallas Mavericks was rumored to be interested, but they since have backed off on the Rudy Gobert sweepstakes. So, hey, it looks like if Utah is going to make a move this offseason, it's going to be shipping Rudy Gobert off and building around my man Donovan Spider Mitchell. Hey, comment, tell me what you think about that storyline. My next storyline I want to hit on is DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton of the Phoenix Suns is the first round draft pick, #1 overall of the Phoenix Suns. Hey, they were defending Western Conference champions, and then they just got ousted by the Dallas Mavericks in the second round this season. Word is DeAndre Ayton is not happy, not only with Monty Williams as the head coach, but also with the Phoenix Suns, who don't feel like he's a max player. The Phoenix Suns ultimately don't feel like the #1 overall pick in the 2018 draft, I believe it was, maybe 2017, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, hey, they don't feel like the #1 overall pick, DeAndre Ayton, is a max player. Will the Suns match any offers that he receives in restricted free agent? Because he is a restricted free agent because he was a first round pick. Will the Suns match? And is Ayton a max player? Hey, you decide. Phoenix has to decide. But hey, you tell me what you think. If I'm DeAndre Ayton, I see what's out there. There's rumors the Detroit Pistons are interested. I'm not sure who else is interested, who else cap space. There's been rumblings of the San Antonio Spurs and wearing that black and silver. You know how Popovich is with his big man. Hey, he doesn't have many years as a coach, but maybe he can get the best out of DeAndre Ayton that the Phoenix Suns can get. Hey, we shall see in the days coming in NBA free agency and the offseason moves that are yet to be made. Hey, we shall see. DeAndre Ayton, I feel, in my opinion, is a max player. That's just my opinion. Because you look at all these contracts that these players are signing for. Some of these role players that are not stars, haven't made all-star games in their careers, they're getting max money. So why not offer DeAndre Ayton the max? Now, if Phoenix cannot come to an agreement on the contract, maybe they work out a sign and trade so they don't lose him for nothing. You don't want to be left at that doorstop. Nothing. Like that's being like left. That's like being left at the altar. You on your wedding day and you got you the groomsman and you sitting out there waiting on your bride and you're left at the altar. Phoenix Suns, don't get left at the altar. Please don't. Now, this one right here, it may make a few fans mad. I don't care. I say this guy, he's going to end his career without a championship ring. He's going to be like some of the other greats, Charles Barkley's of the world, the Karl Malones, the John Stocktons, the Patrick Ewings, just to name a few. Oh, the Reggie Millers of the world. James Hart, as somebody say, fear the beard. Hey, there's nothing to be feared at this time because, hey, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything in Oklahoma City. He hasn't done anything in Houston. He hasn't done anything in Brooklyn. He hasn't done anything since he's been with the 76ers. And it's looking like the deal he's going to sign with the 76ers is going to be an extension for maybe 3 years. And that's it. 76ers don't want to be tied down to him long term, 5 years. And I don't think he wants to do the same. So they're going to look to agree to probably a new 3-year extension and see how that works. Because as Joel Embiid say, it's a process. Well, the process has been going on for a long time. How long does the process have to last? It's just like you saying, I'm gonna put some process on my hair and I'm just gonna let it sit for a while. You tell me how that's gonna work out for you. This process has not been working for the Philadelphia 76ers, and it's time to move on for James Harden. But hey, they're not gonna move on. They gave up too much for him, so they're gonna see how it works out. But it doesn't look like it's gonna be more than a 3-year extension with James Harden. So let's see how that works out. You tell me what you think on that storyline that's coming about in the offseason free agency. Now, this news just broke earlier tonight. This news just broke. Just looking at it, jotting it down, talking about it to myself, thinking about John Wall. John Wall. This guy has been holding teams hostage. Highway robbery, as some like to say. Highway robbery. This dude hasn't played more than 40 games in the season in the last probably about 4 or 5 seasons. Either because he's been hurt or, like in this case, the Houston Rockets told him they mutually agreed that he would sit out for the rest of the season. But he's either been hurt or he's been asked to sit out. He hasn't played more than 40 games in the 82 game season. That's over half the season. And he gets paid over 30, 40 million a year. That's highway robbery. So my question was for y'all, would he get traded or would he get bought out by the Houston Rockets? And who would his next team be? Well, we got our answer. Woj dropped the early free agency bomb. Hey, he ultimately got bought out. He agreed with a buyout with the Houston Rockets. Now, we all know players already have their eyes set on teams they want to go to. Teams already have their eyes set on who they want to go after. Hey, sometimes it's a handshake agreement. We already know that. Woj dropped this bomb and said Wall is expected to join the Clippers after he clears waivers. So that's his next team. Unless somebody swoops in and claims him off waivers, which I doubt. I don't see anybody claiming his 30, 40 something million off waivers. So he's going to ultimately become a free agent. He's going to sign with the Los Angeles Clippers and join the likes of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and the rest of the Clippers. Hey, sorry, Laker fans. Sorry, Miami Heat fans. He's not coming to South Beach. Now, he's going to La La Land, but just in another uniform with the Los Angeles Clippers. Sorry, LeBron. Hey, you can't have everybody. Sorry. You tell me what y'all think. Was that the best move for John Wall to go join the Clippers when he ultimately signs with them once he clears waivers? Now, this brings me to my next person who has been loyal over 10 plus years with this organization. The team that drafted him, who stated, I want to be the next Dirk Nowitzki. Now, not talking about skill-wise, but we're talking about loyalty. You know, as my man Al Iverson said, we're talking about practice, not a game. We're talking about practice. So Bradley Beal is ultimately talking about loyalty to DC Nation. He wants to stay in DC and win there. He wants to stay. I don't blame him. But what have you done for me lately? As the song says, what have you done for me lately? You tell me. I'd like to know. Listen, stay in DC or try to win elsewhere. What did you do? Now, in my opinion, it's two sides. It's two sides to this. I just say it's two sides to this. They traded with the Dallas Mavericks and got Kristaps Porzingis in the trade and shipped off Bertans and Spencer Dinwiddie. So Bradley Beal was out the season with a wrist injury, so he didn't play with Porzingis. Now we all know Porzingis, he hasn't played a full season either as well, but we know the talent that he has. We know what he brings to the table. So I can see Bradley Beal opting into his contract of 30 plus million. I think it's 36, 37 million. Trying to see what him and Porzingis could do with like Kyle Kuzma and KCP if those guys don't get traded, and see what kind of noise they can make in the Eastern Conference. And then if it doesn't work out, we don't make the playoffs, or hey, we get bounced in the first round and it's an ugly, ugly exit. Maybe Bradley Beal leaves. Or I can see him talking with his family, thinking over it, and saying, hey, let me go to the Washington Wizards. Hey, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for just everything you've done for me as a player. All the players you brought in to pair with me over the years. But hey, I want to go elsewhere. Can we give me a sign and trade? He get his 5-year max and he gets shipped out to the teams of his choice. Hey, those are my two opinions on that. I can see him stand, I can see him go. I can see it both ways. So you tell me what you think. Hit the comment section below and tell me what you think on that. Now, I'm going to touch on a player for my hometown Dallas Mavericks. That's right, my hometown Dallas Mavericks. Hey, just for a minute here. No, let me. I got to get my throat clear for that one, because here it is. Jalen Brunson should have been a first round pick. Let's just make that clear. Jalen Brunson should have been a first round pick. But hey, I'm not mad. We got him in the second round at the 33rd pick when he should have been a first round pick. Well, he's a 2-time national champion with Villanova. He's a floor general. Now, is he going to be your best player on the championship team? No. No, he's not going to be your best player on the championship team. Is he going to be a solid player who can win games for you? Yes. Can he be a piece to the championship team? Yes. Will he be a piece to the championship team? Possibly. Hey, because we don't know. He may not ultimately win a championship, depending on how his free agency goes. Well, with him being a second round pick, he's not a restricted free agent. But now, the Mavericks could have made him a restricted free agent if they would have signed him to a deal beforehand and made him a restricted free agent where they could have matched any offer. Now, there were teams out there like the Detroit Pistons, the Indiana Pacers, and of course now the New York Knicks, along with his Dallas Mavericks, who he's currently with. You know, he was in that draft with Luka. So they are kind of linked at the hip right now. They are joined at the hip right now because they was in the same draft. Hey, that was a good draft for the Mavericks, as I might say. But should he re-sign with the Mavericks or join his dad with the Knicks? Now, he has ties with the Knicks. Like I said, the Knicks just hired his dad. His old agent, I think Leon Rose, is part of the organization with the New York Knicks. He has some kind of relationship with Derrick Rose, who's currently on the Knicks roster right now. But he has ties to Dallas. Now, the Mavericks could have signed him to a 4-year, $55 million deal. Now, that price is about to double. It's going to be at least 100, 110, if not more. Dang, did we shoot ourselves in the foot? I don't know. Maybe Mark Cuban, Donnie Nelson at the time, didn't think Jalen Brunson was worth it, or they wanted him to prove himself. Well, he has. He won 2 games in the Utah series. Now, he had help, but he won 2 games as a leading dog in that Utah series while Luka was out recovering from injury. So, hey, now you risk losing it for nothing. But the type of player that Jalen Brunson is, I can see him making this decision. Say, hey, Mark Cuban, Nico Harrison, talking to Jay Kidd, maybe calling up Luka, say, hey, dog, hey, I'm about to go, and I'm about to go join the Knicks. Hey, thank you for your time, but I want to be the lead dog. I just want I want a more challenging scenario with the Knicks. So I'm about to go and join the Knicks. Hey, You could try to get me in a sign and trade over there so you don't lose me for nothing. I can see him. He's a high character guy. So I can see that happening. So you tell me, should he re-sign with the Mavericks, who he just helped lead to the Western Conference Finals? Or should he go join the Knicks and get a more dominant role with the Knicks? Hey, you comment below. Now, here's another one. My man Zach LaVine with the Chicago Bulls. Now, the Bulls made moves. They went out and got DeMar DeRozan. They went out and traded for Nikola Vucic. They added Caruso. They added many players to their roster. So, hey, you tell me, should he leave or should he go? Should he stay? Because reports are now is he's gonna re-up with the Chicago Bulls on a 5-year deal for the max. He wants to be the lead dog, but he'll have suitors if he decides to leave. But it's looking like Zach LaVine is gonna stay right there in the Windy City with the Chicago Bulls because hey, ultimately the Bulls were at the top of the East at one point, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was injuries. I believe Lonzo Ball got hurt. Is it Lonzo? One of the Ball brothers got hurt, and they it just wasn't working out, and they just kind of trickled down from there, and they didn't ultimately make the playoffs. Last but not least, on the NBA storylines of the off season and free agents is that man Kyrie Irving. My man Shams, he broke the report saying Kyrie was going to opt in into his $37 million player option, and he's looking to stay with the Nets. Now, that was 6 teams. 6 teams, I believe, that they listed that Kyrie was set to sign a trade with. Of course, the Lakers, the Clippers, both LA teams. I think the Miami Heat. I think the Knicks were on that list. I know the Mavericks, and there was one other team on that list. And then just today, earlier today, they said the Lakers were the only team interested in trying to get Kyrie. He was willing, from reports, to opt out of his deal, sign the taxpayer mid-level accession for $6.3 million, and then get his money the following year. That's how bad he was thinking about leaving the Nets. But I guess ultimately, he maybe talked to his boy Durant, his good friend, and they decided, hey man, let's try it again. Let's try this thing again. Because hey, they did trade away James Harden. They added Ben Simmons. He didn't play after the trade. So let's see how I can see what we could do together. If it don't work, hey, we could be traded. Something can happen. You tell me, was that a good move on Kyrie? If you were one of those teams that he was looking to join via sign trade, would you want him? We know he's a generation of talent, but would you want him? You tell me. Hey, I'll give you some storylines, some juicy storylines of the NBA off-season free agent that's coming up here this Thursday. We all know we got those wink agreements already, those handshake agreements, because soon as free agency kicks off, you hear about those deals being made or agreed to. You're like, hold on, I thought free agency just kicked off. But if you've been following sports long enough, you know deals are already being talked about. Backdoor deals, agents calling players, players calling players, and say, hey man, come join me. Why not? Let's join together, see what we can do. But hey, I gave you what I thought. Oh, there's one other one that I'm gonna touch base on. One other one that I forgot. And that's my man John Collins of the Atlanta Hawks. He was supposed to get traded on draft night. Last Thursday. But he's still with the Atlanta Hawks. Hey, now I'm again touching on the Mavericks. They were after John Collins. He ultimately signed back with the Atlanta Hawks for I think 4 years, 100, 125, 100 and a quarter, to stay with the Atlanta Hawks. Hey, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. They shocked a lot of people. Then last year, they only made it to the play-in tournament and got beat, I think, in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. But will he get traded, or is the best spot still with Atlanta? Hey, you tell me. Comment below on any of these storyline topics I touch base on. You tell me your opinion. You tell me your thoughts. I like to hear from you, sports fans. Time out with Just fans. And hey, it's about to kick out Thursday. Get ready. It's coming fast and furious. So hey, you've been listening to the Time Out with Just Sports Podcast with your man, your boy, the host, Jeffrey L. Mangum Jr. Hey, I enjoyed your time. I love you. Next time, peace.